One of the things that I was also thinking about this movie is this relationship between science, and I mentioned this earlier, science and capitalism. It first it was started. The project was started as a science project, and then of course.
You mean the film or the
No,
story?
I mean the story.
Ah, okay.
Right. And then the scientist, Grace, was sponsored by a company. And then later on, we found out that the company, of course, had their own, objective. They have their own agenda. And so I thought that, taking this as a sort of a storyline to, suggest something, I thought that modern science today could, if they want to redeem itself, as a force for good, it should betray its benefactor. It should betray capitalism, throw away its objectivity, and take side on the side of lie.
I'm a scientist, but
I thought it was also fascinating. I thought, okay, I need to ask that, and maybe I could ask my friends what they think about this, because I think, I don't know what science people would say about this, but...
Is it always a necessary relationship, though, that there has to be betrayal? Can't they just go hand in hand? But I know it's hard.
No,
but
well, I mean, in the movie, they betrayed in order to redeem themselves.
Exactly. Well, maybe the story called for it. It would be more dramatic.
True.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
Well, since this movie has sort of created this phenomenon, and a sort of really not only for popular culture, but in the blogs, intellectual discussions. We have already mentioned about this, about race, about well, it's also a movie that made theologians think about incarnation.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's a lot
I think
in
it
there.
really
Jake
hit
has
a
this
nerve
too.
in terms of religion, in terms of spirituality, this movie.
That's why Vatican,
In fact,
made a statement about,
I remember,
folks,
I
be
remember
careful
having
with
a
this
lecture.
movie. It
I remember
promotes-
having a lecture last week in my Philippine literature class, and we were talking about Spanish colonial literature, but I made a segue about the Spanish arriving in the Philippines and kind of eradicating our animist belief and instantly though I really could not explain to my students, but the moment I used Avatar as a kind of illustration, they kinda understood what I was trying to say. Like we were kind of the Navi before the Spanish arrived, right?
Right.
We had that sense of belief in pantheism, really, that everything in this world has a spirit, that we are connected to it.
Right.
And then, of course, here comes the Spanish with their, monotheism, and in a sense, it killed that particular sense of self. And I don't know what impact it has had on our psyche, in our relationship with the world. But in the Philippines alone, like, we only have how many percentage left of our forests? 5%. And sometimes I wonder, maybe there's a relationship with that and our religion. I'm putting myself in the in the line of fire here, but I wonder about that.
Eco-feminist theologians are trying to really retrieve this, tradition in the Christian faith that really emphasizes that we are connected.
Yeah.
I think that we are connected, we are related, that this cosmos that we're
Exactly.
in is God's
I want to go
body.
back to that. Oh, yeah. So in a sense, there shouldn't be any distinctions then. Like
At least from
from the particular
Protestant perspective, a theologian at Vanderbilt. I think she's now retired. Her name is Sally McFay. She's really trying to, make us think, reconsider the way in which we, imagine God. In her book, Models of God, she's saying that we should imagine God as, part of this cosmos. In fact, Earth, this world is part of God's body.
Mm.
And I thought, well, if you're going to relate this to, to the
So it's kind of
movie,
pan-monotheism.
something like that. But of course, there's a huge thing about this theological stuff that you cannot say that and so on and so forth. But if you're going to,
Theologians.
yeah, of course.
Oops, I'm with theologians.
So with all this stuff, I think there's more to discuss, and
Yeah.
I think there's movie in that sense. It's powerful and very interesting from different
Yeah, we
perspectives.
talk
So
about it.
I think we should encourage our
Environment,
students
religion,
to
feminism, everything.
right. I think we should encourage our students to really see the content, or
See
if
the
we're going to
movie.
put it in a sort of academic term, ideology.
Yeah.
And you can see really a lot. We should not just see a movie from just to enjoy. Of course, that's part. Of course, you have to enjoy.
Tell them to
But
enjoy
at
the
the
movie
same-
and then ask
same
them what
time-
they took away from
Yeah.
it. Because that
What
should
made
always
them
be
think
the
about
question.
things, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you could invite your students to enroll to your class. I mean, I'll be interested to be in your class.
Okay, students, midterms week, study.
Oh, no movie
No
watching.
movie yet
Stay away
until the
from-
weekend.
All right. So this coming weekend, there will be new movies coming.
I'm not
I don't
sure,
know.
but
what's the schedule?
They brought back
Pascal,
Avatar.
do you have a schedule at Robinson's?
Avatar still playing.
Everybody wants to see it, so they brought it back.
Yeah, Avatar still on.
Avatar and a couple more.
Yeah.
Oh yes. So that would be until next week,
They usually change the program at weekends, Wednesdays, Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. So they could still watch Avatar over the weekend until next week, Tuesday. All right. So I think that's the time we have here. Thank you again, Ian, for
for
sharing
inviting
your
And for waking me up early in the morning.
right. So I owe you coffee. So
Yes.
we're going to somewhere to have our coffee. So thank you for sharing with us your thoughts on this, and hopefully you could continue inspiring us and making us love the movies.
Okay.
Hopefully next month.
Okay.
Hopefully it's going to be a new movie, interesting movie. All right, so thank you, and I'll see you next weekend. Babuchka.